Welcome back to Be.Live. Be yourself and live your purpose. I'm your host, Roca Cruz, and in today's episode, we're facing a powerful and often paralyzing emotion, fear of failure. This episode isn't just about sugarcoating failure or giving a generic advice. We're going to look at why fear of failure grips us so tightly, how it impacts our decision, and how to face it with clarity and courage. Fear isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers. It says, "Don't try. You'll just embarrass yourself." Or, "You failed before. What makes this time different?" Or it also whispers, "You're not ready yet. Maybe late." And so dreams are delayed, projects are shelved, opportunities are ignored, not because we're not capable, but because we're afraid to see what happens if we give our all and still fall short. And so dreams are delayed, projects are shelved, opportunities are ignored, not because we're not capable, but because we're afraid to see what happens if we give our all and still fall short. What is fear of failure? Fear of failure is the intense worry or anxiety about making mistakes, not meeting expectations, or being judged negatively when things don't go as planned. It's not just about the event of failing. It's about what we think that failure means about us. Here's what failure often looks like: avoidance. We don't try something new because we're afraid we might fail. Perfectionism. We delay or overthink because we want to avoid making mistakes. Procrastination. We keep putting off important tasks because deep down, we're afraid we might not do it well. Low risk taking. We stay in our comfort zone even if it means missing out on growth or opportunity. So, there are so many things behind our fear of failure. Here's a few. Why we're afraid. Fear. We have fear of being judged or criticized. We have fear of losing respect or status. We fear confirming our own insecurities, and we fear disappointing others or disappointing ourselves. But there's a big cost of avoiding fear. When we let fear of failure win, we settle for less than that we're capable of. We stay in jobs, relationships, or environments that no longer serve us. We watch others live the life we wanted and become jealous because they were willing to risk failure and we're not. The true danger is not failure. It's living a life ruled by fear. A life where we hold back, stay small, and silence our ambitions. Fear of failure can hold you back from growth, creativity, and success. It can make you abandon goals before even starting, say no to opportunities, and shrink your dreams to feel safe. But failure isn't the enemy, it's part of learning. Facing that fear opens the door to resilience, wisdom, and breakthroughs. I want to encourage you, listeners. Failure itself is just something that happened. But what hurts or holds us back is how we interpret it. For example, failing a test. The event is, I failed a test. But we might think I'm stupid or I'm not cut out for this course. Or we don't get this job. We applied and we got rejected. The event is I did not get the job. But our story in our mind is I'm not good enough. No one will ever hire me. The deeper fear isn't the failure itself, it's the story we attach to it. If I fail, it means I'm a failure. If I fail, people will stop respecting me. If I fail, I'll never succeed. The interpretation hits our identity and self worth. But the truth is, failure is just an event, it's not a label. Failing at something doesn't make us a failure. One way to face fear is to anchor ourselves in truth. What do I value more? Ask yourself this question. Do I value more comfort or growth? This question challenges us to choose. Stay comfortable and be stuck, or embrace discomfort to grow and move forward. Growth usually requires discomfort, uncertainty, risk, possible failure, but comfort keeps you exactly where you are. The fear of failure often fades when we realize our purpose is bigger than our ego. When we focus shifts from what if I fail or what if I never try, we begin to move differently. We need courage. You know what courage is? Courage is doing it even if you're afraid. You know what matters to you most, you can act even if you're afraid because you're rooted in something deeper than fear. When we focus only on fear, the world shrinks. But when you remember your purpose, what you need to do today, why you're doing it, you stop obsessing over how you look or what other things. Because purpose is outward facing, ego is inward facing. Your purpose gives you courage to keep showing up even if you're scared. So, there's an antidote for fear. You don't overcome fear by thinking your way out of it. We overcome it by taking action. Small steps again, consistent small steps. Speak even if your voice shakes. Launch even if you're not perfect. Apply it even if you feel unqualified. The more you move, the more you learn that failure is not fatal. It's a teacher, it's a mirror. It reveals where you just need to adjust, not who you are. The story of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs co founded Apple. And when, and then he got fired from it. That kind of fall would devastate anyone. But Steve Jobs used that time to reflect, build, and sharpen his vision. He founded Next and he took over Pixar. When Apple brought him back, he led the creation of the iPod, iPhone, and iPad, products that changed the world. Jobs once said, I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could ever happen to him. Failure wasn't his ending. It was Steve Jobs' beginning. So let's write in our journal. Here's a journal reflection. Here are questions that you're going to write and you're going to reflect and answer. Number 1, what is one thing you're avoiding out of fear of failure? You write it down. What is the one thing you're avoiding out of fear of failure? Number 2, what is the cost of continuing to avoid it? Okay, what is the cost of continuing to avoid it? And then number 3, what would you do if you believed failure could be part of your growth, not the end of your story? You can't control whether you'll fail, but you can control whether you'll show up, whether you take the shot, whether you give yourself the chance. Fear doesn't go away by waiting. It goes away by walking through it. You were not created to play small. You were not made to live on the sidelines. You are here to rise, to try, to rebuild. So take the risk, trust the process, and let failure teach you not stop you. Okay, so share with me what you have been holding back because of fear. Let's talk about it in our socials and remind each other it's okay to fail as long as we rise again. Thank you for being here. This is Be.Live. Until next time, keep believing, keep growing, and keep living your purpose. In our next episode, we'll talk about building self-discipline and how to keep showing up even when motivation fades. So don't miss it.